there was a slight popping sound, which for some reason I get in a lot of the vocal recordings, and it annoys the hell out of me. Probably does for you too if you listen to stuff from that. For some people, they probably find it really hard to actually hear it, but I'll just go over it again, see if you can hear it. I'll just cut it down a little bit more. It's just a little pop sound. And I've looked over online quite a bit on how to get rid of that pop sound, and there's some things saying you can filter it out, and it talks about clicking and pops. Clicking, I think, is easier. The pop ones, because it's sort of blended into the vocal, it makes it really difficult. And what I have found is that I've tried with different filters and that, and some of them make a little bit of difference, but they never fully get rid of it. The only way I've found to fully get rid of it is to actually cut it out and fully cut it out. And because it's only a very small section, you can do that, and then you can either try to blend in some extra bit over the top of it, or even just leave it empty. What I have found, sometimes leaving it empty, it ends up creating an extra popping sound where it picks up the new part of the vocal. So I'm going to show you how that works. So the first thing, you can see that this is the vocal stem here. I'm in BandLab. What I'm going to do first is, I think it's around about this sort of little area here where you can see it's just a little downward bit. There are some ways of seeing it a bit better, but the first thing is to make this bigger so I can see the waveform a bit better. So I just click on the positive here, make it bigger. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move back a little bit. Well, not that way. Okay, so I know it's somewhere in this area. I suspect it might be there, but it could also be in this part here. I can make that a little bit bigger if I go into here. You can see it better down here. You can see that little dip. I think that might be where it is. See, I think that's it. I think that dip is exactly it. So I'll go back a bit further and just make sure. Well, it might even be further back. It might be this little dip here. Now you can't see that little dip very well on here, but on the bottom part you can see it quite clearly. And it's just that little bit there. That's it. That's definitely it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually increase on this one instead. And it was this dip. Yeah, that's it. That little dip there, and even possibly the little spike just before the dip. See that little spike there? I reckon it's that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically cut out that whole area. So I'm going to go from the start here. Now there's automation on here, so I don't want to move the automation. So we'll cut there, and I'm going to cut to this part here. So there's a little spike on each end. I reckon that's it, hopefully. So we'll do that. We'll delete that. Now let's see what it sounds like without that. Now, because I've got the gap, often it'll make it still sound like a pop. Sometimes it sounds even worse, but let's just listen. Okay, so you could definitely hear the gap. So what I want to do is I want to fill that gap now. The best way I've found to do that is to find a bit, especially like this where it's like an ooh sound. Try to find another bit of that ooh sound that's similar in waveform. Now for this one in particular, if I look along the bottom here, it's pretty much exactly the same there. So what I can try to do is get a section around about the same, split that, copy it, bring it back to here, paste it. Not quite long enough, but that's okay. So all we do is we'll actually extend that because it'll extend from what's past that. Now this may sound a bit weird, it may not. We'll see how it goes, but that's how I've sometimes done it. And sometimes you've got to play around with it. What I have done sometimes, because obviously this one's just a ooh, but sometimes it's actual words that are in there and makes it a bit harder. But the other thing I'll sometimes do is get a bit, if it's a bit small, I can then use like right click on it, on the actual, I've got to do it on the top bit, not the bottom part. And you can do audio stretch. You can make it -10%, and you can make it so, move moved away from it, sorry. Let's get back on it. It'll increase it. So that sometimes works as well. I've done that a few times. Let's get back on this. So that when I've done that now, I can hear another, it's sort of like a duller pop. Okay, so I've done a little bit more research online, and I asked a different question this time. I asked why I was getting the pops when I was trying to cut another piece in or stop it. And it actually gave me this answer. Basically, if I go up, a zero crossing error. And it went into a few things to do about it. So what I've done is I've now, the part that I've inserted and I've overlapped it because it talked about crossfading. Now crossfading, I understand what crossfading is, but on BandLab you can't actually crossfade with it in there. I know on other parts I can, but not on here. So what it says to do is do it as a separate track, and then it doesn't tell you in automation, it actually tells you a bit different, but I know how to do it with the fade in, fade out part. So you want to fade out this track as you're fading in this one, fade in this one as you're fading out that one. So the way that looks is like this. So you've got one fading out, one fading in. So that's up to the volume you want it to, and down to infinity. So from infinity up to the volume you've got it at 9.2. So you notice the 9.2 is the same, so it's the same volume. Now with that, now the popping that we heard before, instead of having that, now we've got this. And I couldn't hear a pop in that. So if I go back a bit further, like we've done before, to listen to it a bit more, it sounds seamless now. So that's the way to do it. I've actually been at this for over an hour and only about 20 minutes of actual recording, and it's going to be a lot less than this because I'm going to take most of that out. But that is the first time I've actually managed to make it seamless and work properly. So that's the way you can do it in BandLab. To get rid of a pop, you need to do a crossfade. The best idea is to put another section in there. You'd ideally want to make it as small as you can. So if you can isolate the pop into one really small area, just do that section, but you've got to have a crossfade. You've got to have that crossfade so that otherwise, if you just insert another part in, it's going to create that, what is called a zero cross popping sound. So that's how you remove a pop out of a vocal stem, and you could probably do exactly the same on any instrument stems as well, but it's generally the vocal stems that it comes in. Hopefully that helps you. It certainly helps me because now I know that that's the way I'm going to do it from now on. All right, this is David Newman from Newman Media Collective, and hope you enjoyed.
Salt on my skin, tide pulling in, each breath dissolving slow. My edges blur with every wave as I